Hello everybody! Recently I have released 1.0.1 of Copper Contraptions, and now I'm going to show you all the changes I've made within this version. The first feature that I'd like to show off is the fact that now whenever copper rods face into each other like this at a corner, they will actually connect after power has gone through them. So if we do this, you'll see that now there's a little extra copper rod here that will connect these up like this, and it works in all directions. This is going to be great for moments like this where it can get kind of confusing where everything is actually going. And one thing that I would suggest if you want to see this while wiring stuff is that you use like a solar panel, something that doesn't produce that much electricity. So then whenever it does eventually leak out, it doesn't actually hurt you, because this amount of electricity is not enough to hurt you. But this right here, where it kind of goes out a little bit and moves around, that could potentially hurt you. So for the safest option, just go with something that produces minimal electricity, like this right here. As you can see, we can easily follow this wire of... what wire? Okay, very silly way of saying that, but yeah. And it'll update as we extend it, and yeah. It's a nice little way to kind of see everything a lot better, because once again, without it, if I just kill the entities that are part of it, this looks like a mess. And I mean, it still kind of is, but it's at least something that we can comprehend a lot better when it's like this. So yeah, I really like this feature. It makes the data pack look a lot nicer. And also, whenever you do break the lightning rods, any of the little extenders will disappear. So you don't have to worry about those just clogging up your world. The next feature I added is now, not only can you use compasses to make a chunk loader, but you can also use a nether star. The reason why is because I have added a little configuration menu that you can pop up using /function nbauto_settings_show. The reason why that's nbauto is because whenever I first made this data pack, the data pack was going to have a different name entirely, and then I changed the name, and I just kept the namespace the exact same. But yes, and I did underscore because that would pop up first in the list no matter what, and then settings/_show. So now if we do that, we can see we get a little menu with settings. Now obviously this doesn't really have a lot of settings, but we can click on chunk loader, and now we can get all the chunk loader settings. So we have the creation setting, which is the only setting for chunk loader settings, but as the pack increases with features that I want people to be able to configure, then there will be more stuff to choose from. Anyway, if we hover over creation, it'll say that it determines if a chunk loader can be created and what item can be used to create it, which is very useful for server owners that think that, a compass and a redstone block are very easy to get, and they don't want their server crashing because they got too many chunk loaders around. So we can either have it at default, which is allow both a compass or a nether star to make a chunk loader, or we can set it to nether star only. Any existing chunk loaders made with a compass will still exist, but if destroyed, they cannot be placed back again. As you can see, it just stops. Now, we can also just disable the functionality entirely of chunk loaders, and now, even with nether stars, it just will not work. Until we obviously enable it again, and bam, the nether star went through, and if I allow compasses, then that will also work. And whenever you do allow compasses, it will also allow nether stars at the same time. And yeah, if you ever kind of wonder what does this option do, just hover over it and it'll give you a little bit of text describing what that actually does. As you can see, very nice feature for server owners, because yeah, you don't want your server crashing because you got too many chunk loaders around. That's really annoying. The next feature I added is probably one of my favorites, and I'm so glad I did this. And it has to do with the quarry. So the quarry, acts just normal, as always, with setting your first corner. Like if I set it here, I can set it here, and it still displays the area that it'll mine out. But as you can see, it says sneak to switch selected corner. So I can sneak, now it's selected that corner. Sneak, now it's selected that corner. Now why is it doing this? Well, depending on which slot in my inventory I hover over, it'll give me a direction that I can adjust the corner that I have selected. And if I select the first slot, it'll just show an outline of the area just in case it's like all underground. So let's say if I wanted to move this down, I'd select this slot right here and start sneaking. And as you can see, that corner is now sinking into the ground, just like that. Very nice. Now I can select the other corner and then maybe make that one go down a bit, like 2 blocks. There we go. Now if I want to see like where the area kind of is, I can do that and you can see it. It's very nice. And yeah, if I want to then bring this back up a bit, I can do that. I could also move it over this way, shrink the area a bit, or I could expand the area in this direction here, and yeah, it gives you a nice indicator of like what direction the block is actually going to go, and it will work just fine. And also, I have not fixed the flashing of this, but yeah, there's not much I can do currently. I'll still look into the fixing of the flashing, but other than that, this works amazingly, and I absolutely love it. And still, to set the quarry, you have to stand on the quarry and then right-click this, and it'll set the quarry. A very nice quality of life change, being able to adjust the selected area, so then, like, if you slightly make a mistake, you don't have to, like, reset both corners, you just gotta move them. It's very nice. I love it. Seriously, one of my favorite features in this update. Alright, next we have a bug fix with the electric bulb. So whenever it's underwater, it wouldn't actually create any extra light when powered. So if we power this, and whoops, missed right there. Right, power that. Bam, so now it's powered, and you can see the light blocks that it produces whenever we're in here. So yep, now this is fully functional underwater, and yeah, so if you have an underwater area that you want to light up, this can now be used. Which I'm very glad I fixed that, and those particles don't render behind the water. Fun fact. Yeah, this is working. You can now do this. Alright, one final thing that I forgot to mention earlier is that I kind of changed the particle of electricity flowing through wires. So before, it would shoot out the electricity particles like really far out, like basically into the next block. Now they kind of stay closer to the copper wire, which I think kind of helps you see better like where it's actually kind of like going, since it's like condensed within the block instead of looking like it's a big blob. Now it still kind of looks a bit more blobby if you have like 3 at once going, but still, with the little extension here and just particles not flying into like neighboring blocks, I feel like that helps a lot with determining where the electricity is going. Yeah, and I'm not really going to change the block state of the copper rods to like being like lit from like lightning, because we have like an entity here, here, and here, and they're all like kind of next to each other, and if they keep updating the same block, then half the time it probably won't even be on the copper rod if they're all next to each other like this. So yeah, this is probably the best I can do for visibility on the lightning rods, unless someone gives me a better idea for how to do that. But just remember, the larger end of the copper rod is the direction the energy will go towards, and it'll go into the next block. Hope that helps with the visibility issues I've been hearing a lot about. I try my best, and this is what I got for you, so I hope you guys like that. Alright, that was all the features I had to show in this version of my data pack known as Copper Contraptions. If you guys have any ideas on, just like ways to make the data pack feel a little bit more better to use and just more fun, then just let me know. And I actually am planning on a pretty large update in the future. It's going to be called the Chaotic Connectivity Update. So if you have any ideas for chaotically connecting things that would work for this data pack, then go ahead and let me know. The visual style of the data pack I try to keep more like vanilla, so I'm not willing to use resource packs for this. Like, as you can see, every single machine just uses block displays to like kind of differentiate it, and I think some of the designs are really cool. Like the tree chopper is just a dropper and an iron axe, and it just looks so silly and derpy, and I love it. I really like that style. Same with like particles and effects and like the sounds. I try to once again keep that all vanilla, so A, I don't have to update resource pack all the time, and B, I just love the vanilla style. Seriously, you can get some wacky sounds from just adjusting the pitch of some sounds in Minecraft, which you can do with commands. So yeah, definitely let me know if you got any cool ideas for chaotic connectivity. I have my own ideas, and I'm planning on implementing a lot of cool new features in this next big update. But also, I have another data pack that is going to be quite large, like this one that I'm working on. It's going to be really cool. So yeah, here's a little sneak peek of that.